Manual start is accomplished if the automatic start is not available. This can happen for various reasons, one of which may be pneumatic pressure that is too low for an automatic start. Controls used for the manual start include the mode selector, the engine manual start push buttons, and the master switches in sequence. Selecting the mode selector to ignition start provides power to the FADEC. Pressing the engine manual start push button opens the respective engine start valve. Selecting the master switch to on fires both igniters and introduces the fuel. The start valve will automatically close at 50%, identical to the automatic start. For the manual start, the pilot is required to move the master switch to on to control the delivery of ignition and fuel to the engine. Therefore, the flight crew is responsible for the engine start to include aborting the start if limits are not maintained. Before engine start, you'll check that the master switches are both off and that the mode selector is in the norm position. Additionally, ensure the thrust levers are in the idle detent and the manual start push buttons are off. To begin the manual start sequence, ensure you have a source of bleed air pressure. The memo on the EWD shows that we have the APU bleed available. When you're ready to start, you'll move the mode selector to the ignition start position. The FADEC is powered, the engine page displays, and the pack valves automatically close. Note, you'll not normally be able to view the closure of the pack valves because the pack valves are displayed on the ECAM bleed page. To open the engine start valve, open the guard on the desired engine manual start push button and press the switch. When the start valve is open, the blue on light in the manual start switch comes on and the open start valve displays on the engine page. You'll normally see the N2 increase followed by oil pressure. When the normal N2 and oil pressure indications are displayed, you'll select the master switch to on. This action will cause both igniters to operate, the fuel used display resets to 0, the ignition and fuel will be introduced, and you'll be able to view the fuel flow. The EGT should increase within 15 seconds after the introduction of fuel. If not, you'll need to abort the start, which would be accomplished by moving the master switch to off. As with the automatic start, the start valve automatically closes at 50% N2, and if the aircraft is on the ground, the ignition automatically cuts off. On this frame, notice on the engine page that the start valve is closed and the igniter symbols have blanked. The N2 displays on a gray background until the engine is stable. So, on this frame, click the manual start push button to select it to off, and then click the switch guard to close it. The pack valves will open in 30 seconds if you don't initiate a start of the other engine. If this occurs, you'll have to cycle the engine mode selector to norm and ignition start before attempting the start of the second engine. After start of the second engine, you'll normally select the engine mode selector to norm, and the pack valves will automatically open to operate the packs. This completes our description of the manual start. Now, let's answer some questions.